back with another T-Chronicles episode 5, I believe, of the podcast. It's been a little too long since I have dropped an episode, and I pondered for a while on what do I want to talk about for the next episode. And since then, life has happened, and it gave me quite a bit to talk about. But for this episode, I'm going to share two different topics. One of them, I just want to start off saying some realizations that I'm having about myself through shifts and changes of growth. And then I'm going to talk about my alien story, you know what I'm saying? But first, let me just get in the flow state real quick, see where I want to begin. I've always been like a charismatic, outgoing person, and I've always, just growing up, I've always just been goofy as shit, you know what I mean? And as I've gotten older, sometimes, not all the time, but I realized there have been times in life, periods of time where I, instead of like throwing up my arms on this roller coaster of life and opening my eyes and just fucking riding the wave, sometimes I've found that I'm almost like covering my eyes, waiting for the ride to end and not embracing it. And I know that's kind of a sad analogy, but it's powerful for me because it's making me realize to reevaluate things in my life that either I need to cut ties with, that I need to bring back into moderation. And it's not like me at all to cover my eyes to the experience of this life. And I just realized that to embrace and say yes more to things and put myself out there. And, you know, like I was saying, I always grew up being charismatic, so it's really not like me to feel like in my head a bunch, you know, but at times I have. And so I'm realizing basically the way for me that I'm growing right now a lot. And I've always kept this thought in my head, but it's taking a step back to take several steps ahead. Sometimes it's not what you do more of to grow. Sometimes it's what you do less of. And there's nothing more like beautiful and just there's nothing, not a better feeling than just clarity and being able to be grounded. Just in life, whether it's through with a conversation with someone or as you're walking through a park, admiring the beauty around you, staying present. And I might have actually mentioned this next thing in one of the last episodes, but when yoga and meditation, they always teach about the breath and breathing and how breath work can help you stay present. And it actually is so true. It's a surefire way to stay present. And the reason is because whether or not I think about it, I'm breathing, you know? But the difference is that, like, say like my heart beating, right? Whether or not I'm thinking about it, as long as I'm here, my heart's beating. And whether or not I'm thinking about it, I'm breathing. But the difference with the breath is that I can partake in the breath. So right now I'm just breathing as I'm speaking, just naturally, right? But you can partake consciously in the breath. And doing that, literally, the breath is the present. I'm always breathing, so that is the present. You know what I mean? It's constant. That's the moment. Right there is the breath. And so coming back to your breath brings you, it anchors you in the moment. So that's just something I'm realizing is just like, yeah, being present and having a clear mind is fucking awesome as shit. And yeah, I'm just learning a lot about myself right now. I had like a bulletin point written down in case I hopped out of the flow state. And I know there was like one more thing I wanted to include in this review of my growth. But whatever that bulletin point was, next episode. Anyways, though, now that I've given you my where I'm at in life, just growing and flowing, and I'm really enjoying the process. And honestly, I'm thriving in the challenges of just like seeing things about myself that I want to like grow from. I'm thriving in that, and if anything, facing and just diving into that endeavor has actually furthermore just like spiraled me up quicker. And yeah, treating my body right. I'm getting older. I'm 28, you know. I'll see this video like 15, 20 years from now and laugh at me saying that, but it's true, you know, like I'm 28, I'm getting be 30 in the next year and a half. And so it's just at that age where I'm like, all right, I've had these dreams of music and making a living off music since I was a kid. I'm reaching an older age. What do I need to do? I've seen people around me hang the hat up and they say, oh, I'm gonna get something more realistic. And me, no, fuck that. I'm gonna achieve everything that I've always wanted to do as a kid. And also it's important to reflect though, the 15-year-old Travis would have already looked at me and been like, whoa, like if I would have told the 15-year-old Travis that you're gonna do this, that, you're gonna go on tours and do these features and songs with people you admire and look up to, like that would have been the end all. So it's important, as much as I am reevaluating what do I need to do to get to where I wanna go as I see that I'm getting older, it's also just as important for me to reflect on how far I've come. But anyways, that being said, it's like 28, you know, I'm 25, I made a 5-year plan by the time I'm 30 to make a living off music, no longer be working for anybody but myself. And so, yeah, just stepping back and being like, all right, I'm a year and a half pretty much until I'm 30. What do I need to do? Reevaluate, tap back in, cut ties with things that are a splinter in your energy. So, yeah, new album, Phoenix Chapter 2, is like a centimeter away from being done. Fucking like 1 song to record and 1 to mix, something like that. It's, I have the whiteboard. I lost my bulletin points and my whiteboard. I was about to reveal the track list for Phoenix Chapter 2, but it's gonna wait. Anyways, that's what's going on with me. Just growing, flowing, slowing for no one, you know what I'm saying? But also slowing down for myself to see what I gotta do to grow. This next little topic I'm gonna dive into has to do with aliens. My extraterrestrial experience. A long time ago, I posted on my Instagram like a poll of what should the next episode be about, and it was definitely, all the votes were going towards the extraterrestrial experience. So this experience, it's nothing. I'm not gonna say it's nothing crazy, because it's definitely fucking crazy, but it's simple. It's simple but deep. My junior year of high school, it's probably around like 2013. I had a mushroom trip, and I had taken mushrooms before this, and after this trip I'd eaten mushrooms, but this specific time, being that I had done it previously, I was like kind of naive to the mushroom spirit in a sense, and I was at my friend's house, and I'm not going to go as much into the trip. That's a whole nother topic, and a lot I could talk about with that, and epiphanies and spiritual realizations. But what I want to tie into is the end of that experience. So I had done it previously, and then this time I was kind of naive to the amount of mushrooms I was eating. I was like, oh, I've done it before, and so I just went ahead and went for it, and had a very eye-opening trip, to say the least. And I'll dive into that on a different topic. But at the very end of the experience, I was with 2 friends of mine, and they were essentially like trip sitting me, because I had left where I was at because the energy just wasn't right, and someone drove me. I just instinctively knew where to go, and someone drove me to this person's house, and they were just there for me throughout the whole experience. And at the end of it, they were getting ready to go to bed. It was, probably early in the AM, I'm imagining, and I'd been tripping balls all night. And my friend, she was like, hey buddy, like I got work in the morning, like are you good to go? I'm gonna turn off the TV, I'm going to bed, you're all good? And I'm just kind of sinking back into the reclining couch, and got a blanket on, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good, fucking A, I'm good. And she turned off the TV and went to bed, and I reclined back in the chair. And when you're looking at a TV when it's off, like you're just sitting down on the couch and the TV's off, and you can see the reflection, you can see, it's almost somewhat like a mirror in a sense. You can see your reflection, you can see behind you. So I'm like leaning back in this chair, this reclining couch, and I'm looking at the TV, and this is like the last, I won't even call it a hallucination. Shout out Terrence McKenna on the true hallucinations, because sometimes it points your eyes to see what is there. This is one of those experiences. So anyways, reclining back on the couch, and I'm looking at the TV, And behind me, I see this figure standing right behind the couch, right where I'm leaning. And it's this tall, slender being just standing right behind the couch where I'm leaning back. And it has kind of what you would imagine, like a jelly bean head, sort of, and a very slender, like this jelly bean head. And I see this reflection, right, and it's standing right behind me, and I don't turn to look at it or anything. And it wasn't a scary feeling either. It wasn't like I wasn't in shock from being fearful. It was just I was in awe, and it was after such a powerful, just a beautiful experience, a beautiful mushroom trip that really was just a memorable time I'll always remember, right? And so this is right when I'm like coming off of that, and I see this figure standing behind the couch, and I just continue to stare into the TV and see it standing behind me. And it was absolutely clear, like what it was saying. No words were spoken of any sort, but it was telling me, it was almost like my chaperone back to this dimension. And it was like, it basically told me like, you're back, you landed back here, you're safe. But now you know, like we are out there. We are out there, and now you know, and now you got to see that glimpse, and we are out there. That's pretty much like the whole premise of what this figure was telling me. Was like, you're safe, but now you know, like, we are out there, and you got a glimpse of that. Yeah, that's my alien story. And I drew a little picture just to give you a little visual. Not a good drawer and shit, but basically there's me on the couch looking at the TV that was off and seeing the reflection of that being standing behind me and letting me know, you're safe and you're all good.